From the Ticats Audio Network, this is Ticats Today with Louie B.
Yes, it is Ticats Today for a Wednesday, November the 24th, 2021. Just a few short days away from the Eastern semifinal. Ticats hosting the Montreal Alouettes on Sunday. You're going to want to be here. Ticats.ca/tickets is where you can get them. You can also win them by listening to this podcast. Yes, the one you're currently listening to. Because coming up in just a little bit, I'm going to give you a keyword, and I'll get you to email that to gameday@ticats.ca. And you can be like Amber Quinn of London, who won a pair of tickets to Sunday's game. Because she knew yesterday's keyword was Danny McManus. That's yesterday's keyword. Please don't email that one today. But we'll have a new one coming up in just a little bit. Want to get right into the show because there's lots to get to. It's a busy day. It's playoffs. The CFL announced their Divisional All-Stars. I'll let you know who's an All-Star. Braylon Addison came off the 6-game injured list. The CFL and TSN's Matthew Scianitti is going to join us. And as mentioned, going to be giving away a pair of tickets to Sunday's game. That's all coming up here on Ticats Today. Mentioned couple of news and notes. We'll start with Braylon Addison. He was activated off the 6-game injured list, which makes him eligible to practice. He was out there today. We'll get an update from Coach Orlando Steinauer. I'll let you know right off the top, though, it sounds like, and kind of quoting Coach here word for word, it's going to be a long shot that Braylon Addison plays Sunday, but being activated off the 6-game injured list is the first step to getting back into the lineup, so we'll keep our eye on that throughout the week. We're going to hear from Jaelon Acklin. We're going to hear from Tim White. We'll hear from Dylan Wynn. We'll hear from Coach O, as we always do. And we'll hear from those 3 players because they were 3 of 10 Tiger Cats named 2021 East Division All-Stars. The league unveiled their Divisional All-Stars today, and it included 10 Ticats, including White, Acklin, Dylan Wynn, offensive guard Brandon Revenberg, offensive tackle Chris Van Zyl, defensive end Garrett Davis, linebacker Simone Lawrence, quarterback Jamal Roll, defensive halfback Carriel Brooks, and safety Tunde Adeleke. We'll hear from all those players throughout the week. We'll hear from 3 today: Tim White, Jaelon Acklin, and Dylan Wynn. So let's get right into it. Let's hear from Coach Orlando Steinauer. Here's what he had to say after practice today. And the one thing I noticed as soon as he got out there today on the practice field is he was happy about the wind. And I asked him about what kind of challenges come with predicting or planning for games in which you really don't know what the conditions are going to be like here in late November. Here's what he had to say.
Just controllable factors, preparation. Obviously you can't emulate snow, but it won't be a factor. It is what it's going to be, the same for both teams. So, I like it when the conditions are adverse because you can always play when the conditions are calm. So I love the wind out there today. Yeah, I think what's interesting is we'd be probably entering Grey Cup week or maybe Grey Cup week normally about now. So we're aware that it could become a factor and obviously something that hasn't been done, at least as long as I've been involved with the CFL. So, it's nothing that you can control. It's one of those uncontrollable factors. But yes, Matthew, definitely we are aware that we could face some adverse conditions.
And I imagine, too, that maybe Jeff will be cooking up some stuff for special teams, given that, kicking could be quite entertaining come Sunday.
Nope. Don't know what you're talking about. We're always, when you go into any game that's a elimination factor, you do whatever it's going to take to win, but it's got to make good sense though. You can't just do things to do things, as you know. So if something makes sense, we'll take a look at it. If not, we'll just play it straight. Yeah. So yesterday he had an extensive, look from our performance team and our doctors. And again, he had been doing things on the side and they basically cleared him that his next step was going to be to practice more outside of take meaningful reps. And so for that, then that's when we decided to pull him. So today was his first day. Thought he looked good. I still think it's a long shot that he'll play. Yeah, and I think that might just be my age showing. I mean, I was a player once,
right?
And you do take a look at those things, and people do work hard for that. But it's just interesting that it always comes out around the time when you want to be bonded as a team the best, right? So I want to say congratulations to everybody who received awards. I think there's some other players on our team that were extremely deserving. Those are always votes. But hey, I'm always happy for players that get recognition. We don't put a lot of stock in it, but I don't like to not give people their shine when they've earned it.
That is the head coach of the Hamilton Tiger-Cats, Orlando Steinauer, as he spoke after practice today. Mention that 10 Ticats were named East Division All-Stars. We're going to hear from a couple of them right here, including Tim White, his first season in the CFL, and he is an all-star in the East Division. He started 13 games at receivers for the Ticats in his first CFL season. He led the team and ranked 6th in the league in both receptions and receiving yards, while adding 2 receiving touchdowns. He's a native of Santa Clarita, California. Also scored on 2nd in Hamilton in combined yards. He added 12 carries for 81 rushing yards and 1 kickoff return for 18 yards to his total in 2021. Tim White, 2021 East Division All-Star. Here's what he had to say after practice on the honor of being named an All-Star.
Yeah, I guess it's been pretty hectic. Just really focused in on what I've been doing, trying to apply just everything that I want to do and, try to get results. And obviously things been going pretty good. So it feels good. It definitely feels good. Yeah, I think it's definitely a big thing. I definitely wasn't expecting anything like this. I was just coming here to play football and be around my teammates. So I think it means a lot. It's definitely more motivation moving forward, and I'm just glad to be able to share that with my teammates. Yeah, I think the most important thing is like making the most out of my opportunities, and I always feel like when I get the ball in my hands, I have an opportunity to score. So I'm always looking to score and put myself in position to do that. So yeah, anytime I get an opportunity, I feel like I've always played like that. And right now I'm just growing, I'm just continuing to get better. So I'm seeing more opportunities that way. Yeah, I played in some pretty balanced offense, but I wouldn't say it's like as a group, as a core, this many guys, have been able to, be able to do that. For me, I would say it's been pretty good because I like to challenge myself and I like to accept whatever challenges I'm faced with. So I see it all as an opportunity to challenge myself and see where I'm at. It's somewhere where I can stack myself, just like each and every practice, each and every game is another opportunity where I can stack myself to see where I'm at. So I see it as another opportunity to get better, to improve, and something to learn from.
That is Tim White as we caught up with him after practice today. Remember, full scrums available at ticats.ca. That's where you'll be able to hear the full question and answer period from today's post-practice media availability. You'll hear from Tim White, Coach O, Jaelon Acklin, Dylan Wynn. And speaking of Acklin, he was also named a 2021 East Division All-Star. He started all 14 games at receiver for the Ticats, leading the team in targets and touchdown receptions. He was second on the team in receptions and receiving yards, and his 678 receiving yards was good enough for 10th overall in the CFL. So a big year for Jaelon Acklin, and we caught up with him just about the honor of being named a Divisional All-Star.
Yeah, that means a lot. Actually just found out like 5 minutes ago. So I'm kind of still taking it in. I haven't even got to call my mom or anything yet. But yeah, it's cool. But like Coach O said earlier, job's not finished. So individual awards are good, but I'd like to win the Grey Cup. Just experience like the media being around and stuff like that. I came from a small school, so I wasn't really used to all that media, like people being around. But it's a cool atmosphere. And I was telling the guys just to, like Tim White and Steve Dunbar, just take it in and enjoy it while you can, because there's 3 other teams sitting at home right now. Yeah, that's sick. That's something that like as a kid you just kind of dream about, like running outside of the house and acting like you're running out into a crowd. But yeah, I remember running out of the tunnel and everyone was wearing all black and it was like smoky. It looked like something off a movie. So yeah, awesome atmosphere, and I love playing in the blackout game at Tim Hortons. They bring some different things. They bring, like cover 2, cut looks, kind of have to account for the corner and the run game and stuff. So they play aggressive, pretty skilled on the back end. Obviously with like Nick Usher at D end and their D line's pretty good. So yeah, they bring a physicality, well-coached team. So yeah, that's what they bring. No matter what anyone says, we're just going to go one game at a time. I get more talk about, stuff that goes outside the locker room from people at Walmart than I do in the locker room. So yeah, I mean, in the locker room, we're all just going one game at a time. We're not worried about anything outside the locker room.
That is Jaelon Acklin, one of 10 Ticats named as an All-Star. And nice little story there about getting recognized at Walmart here in town. And again, there's still going to be some questions about what Patrick Levels had to say earlier this week. But, the team holding strong. They're not focused on it at all. All right, one more All-Star to get to today, and we'll get to all of them throughout the week, all 10 of them. But one of the big ones, Dylan Wynn, third-time East Division All-Star, having previously been named an All-Star in 2017 and 2019. He started 12 games for the Ticats and was second on the team in quarterback sacks while registering 30 defensive tackles and 2 tackles for loss. And we caught up with him after practice. Here's what he had to say.
Got it? Cool. It's cool. Thank you for the, it's nice. It's nice. It's nice when that's an award I kind of like because it's voted on by us as players. And it's nice. I feel like you got a little respect from the guys you play against. And that means they saw something that I was doing that they respect. So that's cool. Always. It's the validation of the work that they've been putting in this whole off season and this long extended off season, and really all the guys in the rooms, even the guys that aren't, maybe didn't get that vote for that specific spot, but the validation of the work that they put in, it's more than deserved. It's juice, man. It brings the juice. Blackouts are always fun. We love it. Fans love it. A little extra angry. It's hard to play in the donut box for other teams to begin with. And when you add a little bit extra juice to it, it's always fun. I'm kind of a man of the people out here in Hamilton. So definitely but it's not like, hey, good luck and blah, blah, blah. It's more like, I go to the grocery store yesterday and somebody working there is like, hey, Dylan, how you doing? Like that kind of stuff, checking in. So it's love. It's love. The Hamilton is a great city and I love playing for it. And the people really, embrace you and bring you in as family. And we have people, fans and just around the city who just want the best for you and yours and truly care. And it means a lot. It means a lot to be able to play for a team that has this type of support that we have.
That is Dylan Wynn, defensive tackle of the Hamilton Ticats. And again, touching on the blackout that will be here at Tim Hortons Field on Sunday. If you want to get here, you can go to ticats.ca/tickets or get your email ready because you could email the words Ron Lancaster, include that in the subject line, Ron Lancaster, and email that at gameday@ticats.ca. Gameday@ticats.ca. Enter your name in the body and the city in which you live, and you'll be automatically entered to win a pair of tickets to Sunday's game. We're giving away a pair a day on Ticats today. Already giving away 2 pairs this week. We got a third here today and a couple more throughout the rest of the week. But Ron Lancaster in the subject line to gameday@ticats.ca, and you could be part of the blackout here at Tim Hortons Field on Sunday in the Eastern semi-final. Speaking of the blackout, it's always special here in Hamilton, and a man who has seen his fair share of games at Tim Hortons Field is Matthew Scianitti from the CFL on TSN. And Matthew, let's just start there. Playoff football in Hamilton. There's not much quite like it, is there?
No, I can close my eyes now, Louie, and I think I'll always live in the 2014 East Final, only because it was just the emotion of it. First time at Tim Hortons Field, Brandon Banks' two kick return touchdowns. Everything that day was just incredible, and not just that game. You think of 2019 in the East Final and some of the East semis, and Hamilton is a place where when things matter, when they're on the line, the fans really show up, and the noise is unlike anything maybe. I will give credit to Ottawa, like the Red Blacks when they were on their playoff runs. The noise in some of the East Finals they hosted was pretty awesome too. But it's just a different level. It's a really historic level of energy that comes from Ticat fans, and maybe that's added to the fact that there's that want, that expectation, that desire to have that Grey Cup drought finally ended. So I'm really looking forward to Sunday.
We just wrapped up, like seconds ago, we just wrapped up our availability with the players, and your line of questioning was really talking about that and kind of the city and how players embrace this city. And it was cool to hear Acklin, and we heard it earlier, but it's cool to hear Acklin kind of acknowledge getting stopped at Walmart and places like that. And because this city, for all the slack that it gets and – across the country, this city cares. This city has passion, doesn't it?
I think, and I'm not speaking out of turn here because my very, very dear colleague at TSN, Matt Dorman, who lives on Ottawa Street, is currently working on a pretty spectacular feature about the city of Hamilton ahead of the Grey Cup, and I'm really excited that he gets to show the country a city that he's from and that he loves. I think people sometimes don't appreciate who don't live in Hamilton, kind of the different perspective you get when you're actually inside the city, when you're on Melrose Avenue, when I imagine Jaelon Acklin on Ottawa Street at the Walmart there. It's a different kind of place, and it's home for so many people. And I'm, certainly have been fortunate to cover games in Hamilton for 10 years. It's a place that loves its football, it embraces football, and the theme of not just Jaelon Acklin, Dylan Wynn mentioned it a little bit, Dane Evans has mentioned it, Jeremiah Masoli has mentioned it. This city, especially this team since 2013, because this has been, when you think about it, apart from a couple seasons of disappointment, this has been a very successful period for the Hamilton Tiger Cats and kind of the team that Bob Young and Scott Mitchell and Drew Alamang and especially Sean Burke have put together over the last 7-8 years. I've been very fortunate to cover a team that has really gone ahead and attached itself to the Ticats. This isn't a team or an era where you have 2 and 16 teams or 1 and 17 teams. I mean, our colleague Steve Milton has lived through that in many iterations. But this is a team. This is a city that cares, in a city that believes that its Ticats can actually win the Grey Cup for the first time since 1999. But I tell you, certainly I was trying to get some reactions out of the Ticats about Patrick Levels' guarantee, but I can tell you that the Montreal Alouettes will be ready to come into Tim Hortons Field on Sunday. And some of those Ticat Alouettes battles in the playoffs of a few years ago, even going back to 1999 and the East Final and Paul Espaldison's kick. I mean, there is a lot of history and intensity there.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned 2014, the East Final, of course, played here. 2013 played in Guelph, and the Ticats went to Toronto and beat the Argos to advance to the Grey Cup that year as well. Let's talk about Sunday's game. What's going to be the difference? The winning team will do what better than the other team? Like, what do you think this game's going to come down to?
Offensive execution. It's clear as day to me. Whenever people think about Trevor Harris as a complete playoff performer, he is statistically the greatest first-round East/West semifinal, but semifinal quarterback in CFL history. I mean, he just has the numbers, completion percentage, touchdown passes. I mean, he is near surgical in the first round of the CFL playoffs. And that, I think, goes a lot to how Trevor prepares and who he is. And even though, yes, he's coming into the Montreal's offense, He's still probably trying to go ahead and onboard and acclimate himself to a lot of it, but he will be ready to go. And although Simone Lawrence did remind us yesterday to, as he said, check William Stanback's numbers against the Ticats, whatever's happened before is going to be irrelevant because the Alouettes are coming. They've just signed their entire, or 4 of their 5 pieces of their offensive line to 2-year extensions. It's going to be offensive execution, and it's going to be that line of scrimmage as well. It's going to be protection, and it's going to be on the Ticats side, looking at some of the receivers that maybe we didn't expect to have big years, and Tim White and Jaelon Acklin and Stephen Dunbar. Like, these guys are going to have to step up, and it's going to have to be a big game for Jeremiah Masoli. I think we all know that, not just because of his confidence level and offensive execution, but because he's going to be going toe to toe with Trevor Harris, and I imagine that Trevor is going to be coming into the week very well prepared and looking forward to coming into Hamilton. Yes, people will point to the fact that absolutely the Edmonton football team got rolled over on in 2019 in the East Final, but the fact still remains that this Trevor Harris is a very good quarterback, and William Stanback is an excellent running back, and that defense is going to be very intense and looking to disrupt. So this is by no means a cakewalk for the Ticats. They know it, especially, and I'm expecting, as we all are, that this is going to be a heck of a game on Sunday.
You speak Coach Steinauer. Basically, you understand it. You speak it basically as well as I do, I would like to think. Braylon Addison, you asked about him yesterday. Coach said he's unlikely to go. Today he comes off the 6-game injured list. We asked him again today. He says it's unlikely that he'll play. Are you taking Coach at his word here?
As I mentioned somewhere yesterday, I think I said this on SportsCenter. I am very aware that Coach O, from the time he was a defensive backs coach with the Argos, he's someone who is like, he lives in the moment, and he's only worried about what's happening right now. So as of Wednesday, day 1, Braylon Addison is not playing this week. As he said, it's a long shot that he'll play this week. It could be very different come Saturday afternoon when all of a sudden Braylon Addison is playing on Sunday. So I like to take Coach O at his word day to day. He's not somebody who is playing some kind of game as maybe other coaches in the CFL have a reputation to. That's not Coach Steinauer. He is very meticulous, very thorough, very in the moment. And as of right now, he's not expecting Braylon Addison to play. Could that change? Absolutely. And that goes for everything. I mean, I kind of also asked him today about the kicking game and the wind and all the situations that you have with playing a CFL season later into November and early December. And, I asked him if Jeff Reinbold, the special teams coordinator, would have anything, and he kind of dismissed it as well. I mean, this is Orlando Steinauer only cares about his players, only cares about the process. And as he said to us over the last couple of weeks, effort meeting execution. This is a coach who, of anybody else, probably understands the expectations and the wants of the entire community, as we've been speaking about, in terms of getting to a Grey Cup in the year they host the Grey Cup. He knows how to deal with the pressure. He knows how to deal with the media, and he knows how to, I won't say spin, but I will say use his words very carefully.
Well said. Matthew, appreciate this. Thanks for doing it.
Thanks, Louie.
My thanks to Matthew Scianitti for joining me, and my thanks to you as well. Always do appreciate it. Make sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode. Tell your friends. Don't tell your friends the keyword, but tell your friends to listen so that they have a chance to win tickets. And then maybe they'll bring you. Maybe they'll be so grateful. They'll be like, hey, man, I listened to the podcast. I got the keyword. I won. I'm going to bring you. Thanks for telling me about it. So who knows? Maybe double your chances that way. But you got to make sure they listen to the podcast, because you can't just go telling them what the keyword is. But it is Ron Lancaster, by the way. Email that to gameday@ticats.ca, and you'll be automatically entered to win a pair of tickets to join us on Sunday. You can always go to ticats.ca/tickets to buy your tickets that way as well. All right, still lots to get to through the rest of the week, getting up to Sunday's game. Make sure to join us tomorrow, same time, same place, right here on the Ticats Audio Network. I'm Louie B, hoping you have a great day.
Ticats Today with Louie B. Subscribe, like, and get your Ticats fix every weekday.